Well, hello, and welcome to another Motivational Monday. And what are we going to talk about today? Well, we are going to talk about the power of discipline. Man, I'm telling you, have I learned a lot about discipline. Before we get started today, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Share this information with somebody else. We also want to make sure that we get a tip from Grandma's Cookie Jar. We go on over to Grandma's Cookie Jar so that we can get a nugget for the day to inspire us. We are going to have a fantastic, phenomenal week. So let's get the cookie jar secret today. Don't just be good to others, be good to yourself. That's real good because I was going to bring up the subject about motivation, meaning who motivates the motivators, right? And sometimes folks that are out here motivating others need a little bit of a little bit of a help, a little bit of motivation themselves. Oh, that's getting on my nerves. But anyway, a little bit of motivation for themselves, right? Because if you're steady pouring and pouring and pouring into others, we look around and say, who's pouring and pouring into you? That's why it's good to have, a circle of good people around you to help you to fill your cup and overflow into your saucer as well. As Lisa Nichols talk about when she says that, give from your saucer, that means that your cup is overflowing, right? So we are going to talk about this power of discipline. I'm excited. It's a good week to have a good week. Wow. Short, sweet, and straight to the point. It's a good week to have a good week, and I agree. So I hope everybody is doing well and things are looking up and we're building in 2023. Let me get a little sip here. Mm, Make the perfect cup of tea today. A little bit of ginger, a little bit of turmeric. Turmeric is good for, inflammation. What did I put in here? A little bit of honey. Have to have a little bit of honey, some blueberries, and you can just actually come up with your own explosion. I know my mother used to tell me that, with all of the things, I just love exploring things, and sometimes it comes out pretty good for the most part, but sometimes, ooh, like she said, it would be a hot mess. But this cup of tea is good, y'all. So be adventurous and go out and enjoy yourself, right? So the power of discipline. What does discipline mean? Discipline is to train someone to obey rules or codes of behavior, using punishment to correct disobedience. And also it means to control by enforcing obedience or order, right? And that means on yourself. We're not talking about on somebody else. Right now we're talking about ourselves because we're building on what we've started, right? For this year, we talked about having our handy journals, and I think I moved mine to the other side. Oh, here's a great one for today. One of my journals, it says, the adventure begins, right? And so in this one, I have all kinds of tabs in here. This is a little bit of a adventure journal, right? So having a journal for each topic. I want to get off into this year talking a little bit more about mental health as well because that's something that affects so many people looking to push forward and don't understand why we get stuck or why things sometimes get a little dark or it's a little bit hard to move forward, right? But when we talk about the power of discipline, that means to do a self check, right? Sometimes a self checkup from just your whole body scan to see what's going on with us, right? And to see what's gotten us stuck in a certain area. And the power of discipline. I tell you, when you talk about training someone to follow rules or to obey behaviors, that means if you have a specific goal that you're looking to obtain or that you're looking to reach, well, in that goal, there is a set of behaviors that you have to comply with in order to get that goal. So when we talk about this, for instance, our money, right? We want to get our money right. Well, we know that, are we disciplined in saving money, creating multiple assets that are going to give us back a systematic cash flow? Are we being disciplined with researching to see if this good? Is this a good place where I should put my money? Or, or do we get our money and we spend it, right? So, or are we in a store and we just can't control all of those subliminal messages at the checkout? When you get to the checkout, you got, the candy or you got the socks or you have this, oh, I need one more pair of socks. No, good and well we don't. Or the house shoes or, all these little things that create a unhealthy spending habit, right? Unhealthy spending habits, I should say. So when we talk about a code of behavior, say, we want to lose weight, right? And we say it at the beginning of the year, like from now until around March, gyms are full, right? People are New Year's resolution. I'm going to lose weight this, but come March, start to slow down. Don't go as many days, right? And what we don't understand is that when we talk about or set the goal for healthy weight loss, or we set the goal to be more toned, more, more more carved out or curved, right? When we set all those goals for ourselves, it's really, really about our discipline. What motivates us to get up? What motivates us to go for it? What motivates us to say, I don't feel like it today, but get up and do it anyway, right? There is a steady plan of action that will help you to get there, right? So that's what I mean when we talk about discipline, right? And sometimes discipline means to grab an accountability partner and say, hey, I need your help today because I need to be able to hold you accountable and you hold me accountable to what we said our goal is, right? What is it that we want to do? I remember it was Jennifer Lopez in Enough. That's very motivational. I mean, I know it was about, domestic violence, the crust of it, but when I look at movies, I look at, different messages in the movies, right? And I saw her discipline, right? She had a specific goal to not be a victim, right? And so she focused in her mind. She got in the gym, she got a trainer, and she started to do the daily activities that it took in order for her to get there. Think about what is it, one of the famous movies in Rocky, right? How Sylvester Stallone playing the character of Rocky, how, he was so disciplined. He's going up the stairs, right? He's running up those stairs, right? No matter how hard it got, he's still going to make it to the top. And then he's going to run back down and make it to the top, right? He has to go and exercise to get his heart up, to get his muscles right, right? So all of these different actions you hear about, the Steve Harveys of the world, whose story goes, and the Lisa Nichols of the world, whose story goes, they started out with nothing, right? And had to scratch their way up, whether it was, living out of a car or, whether it was Tiffany Haddish, she talked about the same thing. It was having that focus, right? So when we focus, there is so much that we can obtain just by focusing and standing it and getting the grit. And even when we don't feel like getting up or we don't feel like motivating ourselves, and sometimes there's not people around you to help you motivate you, but you have to be that motivational grit to help you to push and push and push and push and push. And you're like, wow, I got it. So what I'm saying is that when we set these goals, and I don't say New Year's resolutions, I more so say, setting a goal, maybe a short-term goal. We look at our goals as, looking at the 1 year goal, then looking at the 2 to 3 year goal, or the 3 to 5 year goal, the 10 year goal, right? When you set those goals, then and you put those that in your thought, in your mind, look, this is what I'm going to accomplish. This is my goal, and then you measure those goals along the way. So I would say, if you say my short-term goal in 1 year is to lose, if we're talking about losing weight, or is it to save a certain amount of money, or to make sure that I have these amount of assets, this amount of asset, this asset, at least established or started, right? Even if it's we talked about our little $5 canister that we put our money into, and we're going to put the $5 in every time we get a $5 bill. It's all these things that you look up, and over time, that money has accumulated, right? And then you could take that and invest that into something bigger, and now you have money that's growing. Because we'll say, I really don't have the money, or really don't have anything at the end of, at the end of the pay, after I cash my check, or at the end of the month. There's more month than money. But if you think about it, and you stop and I said, well, take time out to write down every time you spend money. You'll be amazed at how much you find in the runs to the store, or you find in the just that you find in some of your spending. Sometimes because when you don't write it down and you can't see it looks totally different than it does in your head or in your mind, right? So being disciplined, there's so much power in it, so much that we can accomplish just by being disciplined, right? If you say, look, I want to be healthier, so I'm going to drink more water. So I set aside, before I leave the house, I'm going to drink, maybe at the beginning, 16 ounces of water. Then, midday, I'm going to drink another 16. That's 32 ounces already knocked out. Then I'm going to drink another 16, at maybe after dinner, right? And then another before I go to bed, or start out early in the morning. It's all types of ways that we can add these different systems in our own life to help us to be able to accomplish those goals. Like again, I go back to the book. My goal was to write a book, right? It took me years to do it, but as soon as I had a system in place, a systematic way of accomplishing it, I looked up and boom, within a year it was done. And the same thing, the second book, within a year it was done. I think it was, who was that? That was somebody was writing a book and they got up an hour earlier. Oh my goodness, who was that? There's so many different authors that are swarming around in my head. I can't remember who it was, but she said she got up every day an hour early, right? And she wrote for that hour. So instead of sleeping that extra hour, she woke up and she wrote and she wrote and she wrote. Before she knew it, she had written a whole book, right? And then gotten it published. So that's how sometimes little baby steps will get us to our goals. However, we must take the first step, right? And that's starting back in Grandma's cookie jar today. Grandma's cookie jar says, you know, make this week the best week, right? Or make this week a great week, right? To make this week a great week, make this week the week that you say, look, I'm going to stop right here and this is my goal. And even if it's $1 a day, right? Or even if it's, whatever that goal is, or I'm going to start incorporating more water into my daily regimen, right? Or rather it's, I'm going to get out and I'm going to walk at least, when I go to the grocery store, I'm going to park further. I'm not going to look for the space that is closest to the door. I'm going to walk further. When I go to a building, I'm going to walk up the stairs instead of taking the elevator. I'm going to park further from the door. Every time I go to the restroom, I'm going to squat. I'm going to do a squat, right? All of these things, you may not think these things make a difference, but they do. I'm going to read a page here. Then when I take a break, I'm going to read another page. You'll get through a whole book in a year, right? Well, we don't want a whole book in a year. We want to do maybe a month, every month, get through that book. So it just depends on what it is that you want to do. And you put in that power of discipline, right? You put in the discipline to get it done and you'll get it done. Shout out to my cousin Belinda, who has done a fantastic transformational journey. And she's actually in the smoothie time. She was one of the testimonials to a cleanse, right? And I'm sorry, y'all. This is just driving me bananas. But anyway, stay focused, right? But she did such an amazing job, transformation. She wanted to lose weight. She wanted to become healthier. She wanted to tone her body up. So even when it's just her with her own thoughts and everything, she gets it done, right? And she has done such an amazing, amazing transformation. So anything that you want to do, right, you can accomplish it. It just takes discipline. So I hope today's conversation helps somebody to just think about it and say, you know what? I do want to improve in that area. I want to drink more water. Because water, it fuels everything, right? Oh man, wait a minute. I do want to put them $5 that $5 change away. I'm gonna put that dollar away if you have to start at $1, right? I'm going to do this. So if that encouraged one person to do that, then today's podcast on Motivation Monday has been successful. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Share this information with somebody else. Listen, learn, leverage the information. I'll see you all next time. Bye for now and stay fearless.